this week on the weekly Niners news update. Sorry we missed the last couple weeks, so I'll just kind of briefly get into how the Niners have been playing recently and kind of what's been going on. We are coming off of a big win today to end the four-game losing streak against Chicago, 33-22. It was a game that looked like it was going to be more of the same in the first half when we trailed 13-9, but definitely able to really turn it on in the second half and get things going. But
Yeah,
yeah,
especially the fourth quarter, 18 points, man.
yeah, that was really nice. I mean, we definitely needed it. Last couple weeks offensively, that's what I wanted to get into. Our offense has struggled, and we've had a lot of struggles on both the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. I would say that our defense has played better, but than our offense. But the defense has been penalized a lot, especially now leading the league with the most defensive pass interference calls in the NFL. Even
Mm.
more than Tampa now. We have, I believe it was 12. Although in today's game we had none, so it was good to see the adjustments that the coaches made in practice pay off. So definitely good to see that. Um,
Definitely.
and also,
Oh yeah, and Jimmy, he won in his near his hometown.
yeah, yeah, it was Jimmy's return, and also the 4-year anniversary of Jimmy making his first start ever as the Niners quarterback, which was also in Chicago when the Niners won 15-14. So they also won, which this game, which was huge. Ending that losing streak was definitely notable. The offense had come in last week in the rainstorm against the Colts. We had scored 18 points and struggled offensively. Really, outside the first quarter, we'd scored 12 points in the first quarter, and then really didn't do much until you know touchdown in the fourth quarter to Debo. But it was a lot of struggles in that game. Obviously, the weather played a big part in it, but
Yeah,
nobody had.
that game sucked, man. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody was making mistakes, but it's that weather.
yeah, it was really hard to watch that game at times. Definitely watched a lot of players lose their footing. They said that the field was still in relatively good shape, but Jimmy had a couple of interceptions in that game. One that like went up right off Debo's hands and into the hands of the defenders. So that was pretty bad. And then there were a couple fumbles as well. I think all in all in the Colts game, the Niners had 4 turnovers. We scored 18 points, but the week before that, when we played Arizona and Trey Lance started, we lost 17-10. So the offense has been struggling recently. We haven't scored over 20 points in the last couple weeks, but today we were able to score 33. So that was really nice. Definitely able to get the offense back on track now. Notable things to talk about in that Arizona game as well. With Trey Lance getting his first start, he was 15 for 29 with 192 yards, no touchdowns, and one pick. And in kind of an unusual game plan, they had it designed for him to run the ball 16 times. So that was a little bit unusual. You don't usually see the quarterback run the ball that often, but
And it's
um,
because his throws aren't that great. I feel like so they're like, nah, just let him run. But he looks like he's getting better though with time. I mean, like the first two times he came in this season, I remember it was really rough, but
yeah, yeah,
he is
and I
starting to
mean,
look better.
he did have some dropped passes. Who knows how much that's on the receiver, because even Jimmy had some. Jimmy on his first drive today had 2 passes dropped by Debo, and Jimmy doesn't throw nearly as hard um as Trey. So I don't
Yeah,
know how
definitely
much of
not.
that's like on Trey and how much of that's just like our receivers just need to like do a little bit better job. I mean, Debo's our best receiver, and he dropped 2 today. So that's definitely not what you want to see. But yeah, I mean, they definitely have been playing better defensively. Minus the defensive pass interference calls. They've been without some key players in the last couple weeks. Obviously, no George Kittle, which we're hoping he can return for next week's game, and then
Yeah,
also,
boost the offense even more.
yeah,
Hopefully.
exactly, as we're starting to get on track, and Also, Joey Sly stepping in for Robbie Gold. Robbie Gold might be back next week. That's what we're hoping. But Sly's made some big kicks in recent weeks. He was 3 out of 4 on field goals today, but he did have a missed extra point. He also missed an extra point last week, and that's kind of been the knock on Joey Sly from Carolina, and also when he was with Houston, that that he's struggled more on like shorter kicks and extra points. He's got a great leg. He hit a 52-yard field goal today. So
Sounds kind of like Chris Blewett, maybe. He can't do any of the close kicks because they get blocked. But then when it's 52
yeah,
yards, for some reason, he can make it.
yeah, Sly usually is just hitting them wide right rather than having them blocked. But
Then
yeah,
yeah.
kicking issues have definitely been a concern. But yeah, I mean, Trey Lance definitely gave us an interesting dynamic. Like I said, he had 16 carries, 89 yards rushing on those 16 carries.
Yeah.
So definitely a dynamic that we don't have with Jimmy, even though Jimmy did provide us with 2 rushing touchdowns in the game against Chicago today. It's definitely I don't think Jimmy's ever had 89 yards rushing in any game.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most he's probably ever had is probably like 50. Didn't he have like a one really long run one time for like 35 yards or something like that?
Yeah, I feel like it was something like that. I don't think it was necessarily that long, but uh, looks like Dallas is. I'm just checking, and it looks like Dallas has gone ahead 20-16.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's
Ugh.
unfortunate.
Ugh.
All right,
God.
well, anyway,
Ugh.
yeah,
Well, Debo had a monster game today.
yeah, yeah. That's one thing I wanted to mention as well is Debo's been going off, and actually through the first 7 games, he broke Jerry Rice's record for most receiving yards through 7 games with I think he's got 801 maybe right now.
819.
Oh, 819. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, Jerry Rice has had that record since 1986.
oh, nice.
A long
Okay.
time.
Yeah. And since we're always answering, the questions of Jimmy's longest run ever was 33 yards. I just wanted
Ooh,
to
I said 35, so I was
verify that. Yeah,
pretty
it's
damn close.
pretty
I
close.
knew it was something in the
Yeah.
30s. I
Yeah.
remember the run. Like I remember seeing it. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he definitely, can be elusive. Today the Bears didn't see him coming twice. I mean he got in from one play that looked like a broken play, that was
mhm.
probably supposed to be a sweep to Debo. But he ended up just taking it himself. And then the other one, which was a true read option from the 5, I think that's the one that you might have missed. They were
Yeah,
at
I
the
think it is.
5-yard line, and he could have handed it off to Elijah Mitchell, but he just like read the defensive end, took it in himself, and got in there
I
for
feel
a
like
touchdown.
they sound very similar. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which one I missed,
they
but
both were very similar
did he
because
go to the left
they
both
both went
times?
to the left. Yeah, they both
Okay,
went to
I'm
the left.
all
One
right. I
for
think
2
I saw
yards
the
and
replay of the other
yeah,
one, but I think
yeah,
I thought it was the
yeah,
play I
yeah,
actually saw.
yeah, yeah. But in other positive news, it was nice to actually see the Niners involve some of their other receivers today. I've been talking for recent weeks about how we need to go ahead and get Brandon Ayuk involved, and it's definitely time that we finally do that. And today he was more involved. Today he actually had I'm trying to like pull up the numbers on him real quick. He had 4 catches. He was targeted 7 times, caught 4 passes for 45 yards. Mohamed Sanu had 3 catches for 59 yards. So they gave Debo some help, especially with Kittle out right now because
Yeah,
Debo
they
leads.
all had a decent amount. I mean, the yards per catch
Yeah,
is
yeah,
pretty high.
they were busting off some chunks, and a lot of times it's just Jimmy checking down. The big one to Debo, the 84-yard screen or whatever was definitely just a check down and a big play. But
That was the play of the game for
yeah,
sure.
a few of them, like there was one where Jimmy had forever to throw. I wanted to talk about this. Like he had forever. Like he was literally just like standing there, just like looking around. And it looked like he was going to take Elijah Mitchell, for the check down, which probably Jimmy would have a lot in the past. just take the easy check down to the left. And then he starts throwing to the left, and I was like, he's throwing to Mitchell, and he's not. He's thrown to Ayuk, like 20 yards down the field for a first down. And I was like,
Yeah.
shit. I was like, so he took a couple deep shots in the game. So it's like, I think he's feeling good. He's feeling confident, after that shitter of a rain game, where he
Ugh,
probably couldn't get his
yeah.
footing. So that was definitely good to see. But yeah, I was definitely concerned at first today because, like I said, we went into halftime down 13-9, and Fields, who's been struggling as a passer, Justin Fields was 10 out of 12 for 88 yards and a touchdown in the first half. I mean, he had by far his best half of football as a passer to date.
Mm.
But in the second half, we ended up sacking him like 4 times. We got that game clinching interception by Josh Norman when they took over with the ball with about 2 minutes left, and they take a deep shot, the ball gets tipped, Josh Norman picks it off to seal the game. That was really good. So definitely did some good things. No pass interference calls today. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I said,
That's always great if you can get
yeah.
that. And Elijah Mitchell, I don't know if you mentioned him. He had a really good game as well.
I
18 carries for
yeah,
137 yards
I didn't
and a
get to that.
touchdown.
Yeah, but I wanted to. Yeah. And he topped his previous best because last week he's had 107 yards twice. He had 107 yards against Detroit, and he had 107 yards last week against the Colts. But this week he topped that, and he's really been taking over. In the past years, and I know a lot of the Niners fans will know this that have been watching, but Kyle, I know you know this, but Kyle's always been one to like mix the backs. Remember last year when we were seeing a lot of
Yeah.
like we'd see a lot of like Tevin, we'd see a lot of like Breida in recent years, we'd see a lot of Raheem, we'd see a lot of JaMychal Hasty, he'd mix them all in there. Jeff Wilson, they'd
Hmm.
all get mixed in there. So this year it's been basically Elijah Mitchell. I mean, the only other running back that carried the ball today was Hasty, had 3 for 4 yards. And Hasty's usually like um he's more of our JD McKissick. He's more of a receiving back. That's
Hmm.
why we usually have him in third down and passing situations. So Elijah Mitchell's pretty much carrying the load. Trey Sermon, our other rookie, was healthy, but he didn't even get a carry today. So
Yeah, that is weird.
yeah. Usually Kyle likes to mix in the backs, but it's been the Elijah Mitchell show. So I
That
mean he's
worked out
he's
well.
he's been able to carry it. Yeah, he averaged 7.6 a carry.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fantastic, man.
yeah,
That's a great game.
yeah, yeah. So really good game. I mean, Jimmy had 322 on the day. He was 17 out of 28. No touchdowns, no picks, but 2 rushing touchdowns. And like the Niners finally broke through after not having any touchdowns in the first half to get 3 in the second half. So that was really good. Like I said, it was good to get Ayuk involved, you know, because
Definitely.
he's been needing a breakout, man. I mean, last year when Debo was hurt, he had like 750 yards. He was our best receiver. And
Yeah.
this year he's got 13 catches to this point through
Jeez.
7 games, including what he caught today. So we need to get him more involved. And I think that Kyle said he had his best week of practice. So I think that he's going to start coming out more.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Because I think that'll take a little bit of pressure off Debo. Because obviously when Debo's not getting doubled, that opens him up to go like 84 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Although that sucks that wasn't actually called a touchdown. They said that he was down,
Yeah,
but
they stopped it. Yeah.
there were 2 really good that's what I want to mention real quick. The effort. So Debo catches this ball like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and proceeds to outrun like everybody, like on the Niners and Chicago. Like it looked like he was gonna get caught. Like they showed him on the
It
bench
did.
afterwards, and he was like sucking air hard. He was like out of breath. He was like, "Oh my god, I was gassed." But like just the effort to get to the goal line and then like to dive out, it sucks because like they said his foot was out at like the 2. And then a couple
Yeah.
plays later, Jimmy gets in on the rushing touchdown. So it was all good. But yeah, I mean that was insane. That was all effort. And then a couple drives later, Elijah Mitchell, he gets the ball and then they hand it off to him at the 5. He gets contacted at the 4, and I think you probably remember this, pushes the
He
entire
pushes the
pile
entire
from the
yeah,
4
yeah, yeah,
into the
yeah,
goal line, and then you see
yeah.
Jimmy at the end just running, like
Just
push him
and
into the
touches
end
the
zone.
back
Yeah,
like real. It was real
yeah,
light too. He
yeah,
just
yeah.
barely.
Jimmy just putting in the, like, football's a game of inches. Jimmy just inching the way in. That's all they needed. But yeah, but that was great effort by Elijah Mitchell. Like, my God, that's what you
Yeah,
need when you're trying to end a 4-game losing streak. You need effort plays like that, and that's what we saw today. It was really
absolutely.
good to see, and I'm hoping that we can continue, because we've got Arizona next week again in the rematch. This time it will be Jimmy starting. Trey started last time when we lost 17-10, and I thought we
It'll
could
be a
have beaten
win.
them. I thought we could have beaten them. I thought that we gave Arizona, other than Green Bay, nobody had held them under 30 points until Green Bay held them to 21 the other night. But we held them to 17 points. That's the lowest they've been
Yeah,
held to all season.
that is good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, and the offense, like, I know everybody loves Trey, and Trey's going to be great. We didn't see any of them today, even though he was healthy and the backup. Maybe we'll see some of them next week, because he did run for 89 yards against Arizona. But I know everybody loves Trey, but you can't deny that the offense does move a little bit smoother with Jimmy in there. Like, we're a lot more effective. I mean, we're always getting a lot more yards, usually getting a lot more points. I mean,
I would agree.
yeah. So, like, right now, I think, I was surprised we didn't see Trey today, but I thought we'd see him in some packages, especially against Chicago's pretty good defense. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe next week we'll see both of them, but hopefully we can get that win and hang more up than 10 points up against them, because yeah, it would have really been nice to have, cost them their first loss of the season, rather than, I mean, good on Green Bay, but it would have been cool if we could have
It
done it.
would have been it would have been better. Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah,
in the same division, and but yeah,
yeah. And then in closing, I just want to mention, the Niners defense, in addition to Washington's today getting 4 sacks, two of which coming from Nick Bosa, which brings his total on the season to 7. So he's definitely seems like he's back from the ACL. So he's having an awesome season. And yeah, hopefully he gets after Kyler Murray next week, and we can get a win. But that's all we have for the Niners news update of the week for the week. And check back with us next week.